think we're good. You're recording there. Mm-hmm. All right.
I like to get a little bit of
our banter beforehand.
That wasn't very much banter, though.
Is this the wrong instrument?
Nah, I think
Sean, I think your hair is right in the middle of this camera.
you know what? I didn't even think about that. I got the Marge Simpson going on today.
The Marge Simpson.
Let me bring this down a little bit.
Hey.
Yeah.
Come towards me, Sean. Now,
that would help.
Now flatten out your camera a little bit, or your microphone. Yeah, buddy.
All right. I think that this is gonna work out.
Should be okay.
This should be out.
He might have the arm, just like this one. That arm is gonna be in there.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to work on this some more. So
this, my friend, is perfect for the topic today.
Is
progression of the pod.
It sounds good in here.
We just progressed it just now a little bit.
I'll say that.
Sean said he had the Marge Simpson going on. Did Marge have dreads? What was that? What was going on?
Dude, I don't know what she had going on.
So if you shaved it, would she have a normal size head, or did she have a really tall head?
Ooh, good question.
That's a good Googler. That's a Google right there.
Put that in the Google
I don't think
machine.
Google can answer that though.
Well, maybe there was an episode where she got a haircut or something.
I bet there's some theories.
Ooh.
I bet there's lots of
What's
theories.
your theory?
Aliens. That's my theory.
Aliens.
They exist. Yeah. They exist. That's it.
I think they do.
Yeah.
That's it. Write your own story.
Yeah.
Aliens.
Aliens. So it's a little toasty in here.
It's hot in here. It's all right.
The AC is broken. You know who did it? David Goggins. He ran down here and broke our AC.
Heard us talking shit.
It's all Sean's fault.
Yeah. Heard us talking
He heard you talking shit, and he thought we needed to sweat a little bit for this podcast. But we're in here sweating.
Stay hard.
I mean, I'm not.
Stay hard.
Stay hard.
I don't think I'm sweating yet, but I'm going to be soon.
Yeah, well,
that's for sure.
The AC's broke, and we don't care. We got a show to record, and y'all got a show to listen to.
We do.
The good thing about the new like podcast compound is that we don't really have an AC. We actually have people from Alaska like import snow and ice and build it around the exterior of the room to provide the.
Is that what makes it a compound?
Bring it around town. I was gonna put the microphone back in, but I kind of like
holding on to it.
Yeah, that's the like the MC almost.
Yeah, that's like the MC. But what I do like about those is you just kind of put it there and you don't got to worry about it anymore.
Yeah, I'm thinking about going all tabletop because these arms are pretty annoying.
Yeah,
well,
that's the progression of the pod.
It's the 50th episode.
This is episode 50.
Let's compare this to episode 1.
Well, that's kind of what we're going to talk a little bit about that. And then we're going to go into what the lesson is. One of the lessons, or many of the lessons, if you have some other ideas of what the pod has taught us over the course of these 50 episodes over a couple of years, huh?
I don't think it's been a couple of years.
It's been at least a year.
A year and a half.
It's been about a year and a half, probably.
Yeah, I could look back and see when I had the lease of that little office. You remember that little office?
Yep. But anyway, progression of the pod, episode 50. Welcome to the show. Hold on. I think our fans have something to say. They all fade out together too. They come in hot and they fade out.
Perfect harmony.
There you go.
Perfect harmony. So we started this podcast quite a while back, and it's still not perfect. Phil makes loud noises right in the middle of the show.
I wanted to, this chair.
That's anti-progression of the pod.
Is it?
Moving backwards.
All right, well, not anymore because I can't lean back all the way, so it's better now.
No, but we started this show quite a while back, and the duration isn't really as important as all of the tweaking and all of the trials and errors and all of the basically minor and major setbacks that we've encountered all the way up until today, where we're still working on camera angles. The AC's broken. There's still stuff going on that obstacles that we're overcoming, and we're sticking with it. It's not, it hasn't made us rich yet, which is a little disappointing.
That is upsetting.
I kind of wish that I was rich.
Do you like being at the controls again?
But I'm not. I kind of like switching out with you.
Okay.
Because sometimes I just like chilling, listening, hanging out. Mm-hmm. And then sometimes I do like push
like getting
buttons.
funky with it.
Cause there's some times wherever it can be a little, are you overdoing it? Are you underdoing it? Did you forget to do the volume? You know, there's some, I'm not from Nevada, so I'm not like professional, but,
but you were the guy though. You're the captain. When I think of the OTG podcast as like the actual,
I am your host.
There you go. There you go. But I think a D-row.
I am the captain of the OTG podcast. And I'm proud of that. Check out my polo. Oh, it's custom. It's one of a kind. There's none like it anywhere.
I got a little shirt.
So Wisdom photos.
Wow.
Y'all hit up Sean Wisdom for photos, videos, any content digital content you need created. Hit up Sean, dude.
Yeah, bourgeois.
He can even wear the Marge Simpson hair if you want. You can wear it however you like. You can wear it down, up, sideways, I'm sure.
Homie. There you go, man.
But podcast. Mm-hmm. I think that what it's taught me is it runs in congruence with many things in life, almost everything in life. It really comes down to talk being cheap, right? Like you can think about doing something all you want, or you can talk about doing something all you want, or you can think that you would be good or not good at something all you want. Mm-hmm. But the proof is in the pudding. You have to actually just do it. There's no better practice than what we call OJT, on the job training, man. And
yes, sir.
And so whatever it is that you want to get better at, fitness, finances, marriage, podcasting, what you name it, there's a billion things in life that you could want to be better at, or want to improve on. And, you can read all the books that you want to read. You can, make all the resolutions that you want to make. But until you get out there and start doing it, the real progress is when you get out there and start doing it.
Definitely.
And,
I agree. 100%.
We don't have like a Joe Rogan experience going on here with our podcast where it's like number one in the world and we got the whole team and it's professional. We're still moving stuff around. We've got Sean with us now, and things have started going up and getting better since then. But, we're only going to get better and better because we're going to keep coming in here. We're going to keep putting the reps in. We're going to keep moving stuff around, trial, error. We're going to keep talking about it amongst ourselves, and we're going to make progress. We're going to move forward, and at the very, very least, when it's all said and done, even if we don't get a whole ton of new clientele or any money off of it, we'll have some really cool conversations recorded to go back and listen to in the years to come.
Yeah,
it's very fun to do.
At minimum,
I enjoy it.
It's fun to get together with some of my closest friends, and y'all two are very like-minded to me in a lot of ways, and very different from me in a lot of ways. And that's true for each of us individually. So it's kind of nice to sit down and have these conversations and just, put our ideas out there and just I don't know.
Just dudes being dudes, man.
Well,
just dudes being dudes.
But it's put our ideas out there and try to build something together.
Well, we are. I mean,
despite setbacks and trials and errors and difficulties we've had, and our glasses fogging up and all kinds of problems that we've had.
Yeah, I mean, Joe Rogan didn't start off as the Joe Rogan experience. It started off as just a group of people collecting around microphones, just talking about stuff, and getting other like-minded individuals on, other people doing similar things, and sharing ideas across the podcast wave. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, sure. And now it's to the point, if you listen to his podcast, the spectrum of guests that he has on his show are not like-minded. They're not all the same. Mm-hmm. They're all these individuals that wear watches that beep really loud during the podcast.
I got my phone and then I was like, I feel like I'm forgetting something. Then I hear it. Yeah.
But
sorry.
Oh, let me check mine real quick. I'd have to wah myself, but no, they all get together and even if they have differing ideas or, he talks about all these crazy things, but it all started from just sitting down and just having conversations, sharing ideas and bringing it all to the table. And, everything from scientists to historians to activists to doctors and politicians and everything. And it's all just people sitting down, sharing ideas. And obviously it's gained a massive traction. And I don't know if that's where we're going, but we're just some dudes that are wanting to build something. And we come in every week, sit down and give it our best. And it doesn't always go as scheduled. Phil's got the gym to run. You got wisdom to run. I got a full-time job and y'all's are full-time as well, and a real estate portfolio, and I travel, and there's all kind of crazy stuff going on, and we'll make it work. We'll meet at 6:45 on a Wednesday night.
That's life, man. That's life. You gotta roll with the punches. If you want it bad enough, then you'll have it. If you want OTG bad enough, you'll have it. If you want a real estate portfolio and to be an entrepreneur, you'll have it. It's like, I never thought, if you would have asked me 2 years ago, 3 years ago, if I would have been here, editing a podcast, taking pictures every day and taking video every day for a living. It's like, I wouldn't have thought. I would have been at the pawn shop grabbing shitty PS4s out of the back or something. It's like, that's what I was doing. Yeah. So I had no credentials to be here, but it's like, I wanted it.
That's a whole story. And I would love for you to continue to elaborate, Sean. That's a whole nother, the fact that we're still here, we're doing this, we're progressing it, we're growing it, and we're trying is, I think is hopefully influential, and it just shows people that in order to get better at something, you have to quit reading about it and talking about it and just do it. But a whole nother side of it is what how you individually and wisdom has evolved in the past. It's only been 6 months.
I think about 6 months,
6 or 8 months,
something like that. That I've been with OTG.
Yeah.
Something like that.
From the beginning, and then now you're full time. But just in that short amount of time, you've actually quit another full-time job that you had been working for an extended amount of time. Mm-hmm. And you're doing what you love full time now with people that you like.
It's kind of crazy.
And I'm gonna let you run with that a little bit. How do you feel? Tell us everything.
I guess if I can start with like my first project here was No Hamburgers, that episode. No Hamburgers. And I'm not gonna lie, I was nervous, super nervous. I'd never worked with Phil. I knew Phil. I knew you guys a little bit when we were younger, but never in a professional setting.
From the beautiful city.
Yeah, in the beautiful city. There you go. But it's like, I'd known a little bit about the gym, but I didn't know much about it. A funny story. So I was like, man, I gotta tell Phil about this next time I see him. And this is a great time. I had a day where I was walking around and I was handing out business cards to different businesses. I went to Casey Bakes and I came to OTG, but I don't know why. I guess the door was locked and I just didn't know. So I was trying to put like my card in the door or something. It just wasn't working. And I was like, shit, all right, whatever. And I left. That last card was the last one I had, and I went to this other business that was a smaller like hair salon down the street across from that CrossFit gym. It's like a small house. This older lady's working there, and I'm knocking on the door. No one's coming. Knocking. No one's coming. And I'm waiting for her. I look in my card thing. That was the last card, and she walks up, and I'm like, "Hi, I'm Sean, and I take pictures." She's like, "I don't want it." Slams the door. I was just like, "Oh my god." Yeah. Felt like an idiot, but man, it was funny. But I was working at Kroger's. Kind of just didn't really know what was going on, like I've said in the previous episode, and Phil hit me up and he's like, "Hey, I'm looking for a creative manager right now," and so I came as doing the job part-time, and he said, I got this podcast, No Hamburgers was the first episode. I was super nervous. I wasn't sure how it was filmed, and I didn't really know how to work with the footage.
We didn't know how it was either.
We still don't know. Let's just be honest.
Yeah. So I was like, I just have 3 SD cards in front of me, and I got to figure out what to do with this. And, I guess it was, it was good. It ended up working out really well. And now we're here, growing the podcast. I think that was like episode, that has to be like, I think like 10 or 12 episodes ago.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, I kind of got like a different flow. We'll try different things all the time. And now we're getting more and more listeners. A few of our clients are tuning in. We had one and she's like hooked on the pod, which I liked it. She was, she made sure to let me know like, hey, I just listened to this episode and I was wondering, man, when am I going to have the next one? And I was like, really?
Wow.
That's amazing.
It's
awesome to hear that.
I'm not gonna lie. I listen to them. I watch the YouTube version usually.
Mm-hmm. Same.
But I do kind of like when we haven't put one out like every now and then. We have missed in the past, and we plan on not doing that definitely as much if we can help it. Last year was a little challenging, but I kind of like, dang, like I'll scroll through my subscriptions on YouTube, especially when I'm doing cardio or something, and be like, oh man, we haven't put a.
I listened to the iCryo episode recently, and that one was really good.
With Chase.
Yeah,
that was a good one.
That was awesome. I was like, man, this is great.
There's a lot of good episodes out there. I think the ones with guests. I mean, I love when just our conversations in general, but for sure, guests bring a different feel and different questions and different topics.
Definitely.
I mean, I think for the most part, and how we're different than like something like a Rogan or whatever. Obviously they're huge, but we are a little bit more tailored in like the, I guess, entrepreneurship and, self-improvement,
and we're cooler.
Yeah, well, duh.
Better looking.
We have more hair than Joe Rogan.
More hair.
Sean for sure has more hair.
We all have more, but Sean's got him whooped.
Yeah. But, when the guests come on, we kind of stay in that field for the most part, and they just bring in a different feel and, different conversations come up, and it's always a lot of fun, a lot of emotions, a lot of laughing.
How have you liked the podcast progression so far?
Oh, I think it's progressed a lot. I really want to nail in these things, but we're waiting on that on one edition now. I feel like
I tell them?
We've changed it up. Yeah,
we're getting a neon sign.
Neon sign.
Bitches.
Moon.
Neon moon too.
Neon moon.
Neon moon.
So we're still kind of messing around with what it's going to look like when that happens. And, we went, but I'll tell you this, we progressed from, remember the very first episode?
Oh yeah. Like one GoPro, one microphone, me and you sitting shoulder to shoulder with the office furniture turned on its side because we didn't have enough room to get the camera. We couldn't get the camera far enough away from us.
Far enough away because we had a crop. It wasn't a GoPro then.
And we had to be quiet because we were later.
Remember, we got the GoPro idea from John and Mike.
Oh yeah.
We were using my
shout out to John and Mike. Curiosity.
We had a little Canon M50.
Oh,
what were you gonna say?
Oh, okay.
One of them was a fruitarian for a while. Anyway, carry on. Sorry.
We had my Canon M50.
Okay,
and it's a crop sensor.
Yeah,
I don't even know what that means.
And it was very difficult.
Like a tough.
It was very
situation.
The room was half the size of when it was at Daryl's house.
Yeah, it was.
So and with that little crop sensor, and it was it was very difficult. But, when we had like a single Yeti microphone plugged into my old Surface Book laptop, and
every time we touched the table, you could hear it.
Yeah. And then also remember the lady started vacuuming.
Oh yeah. So we went up to record one night. It was late. It was probably 9:00.
It was at least 9 or 10 at night.
They have janitorial staff, I guess, that cleans that office, the whole facility.
Oh,
and she fires that baby up outside the door.
And bro,
she's banging
this lady was vacuuming for 30
She did a jam up job. I wanted her to vacuum my house because she took an extended amount of time outside of our door.
Every fiber.
Every
thread.
There was those little bristles on that vacuum touched every square inch of carpet within 10 feet of our door for like 3 hours straight.
And I think that we got started and then she turned it on, then she turned it off. We tried again.
She started again.
Yeah.
She went took a snack break or something.
It was bad. And we were getting mad.
Double tap, making sure she got it all.
I remember getting just going in my head. I was like, man, this isn't meant to be. We shouldn't be doing this.
Because it was kind of tough.
It was super tough. And I was very emotional about it.
That's when I was
about the pod in general?
About trying to do it. And then I don't even remember why it was so late, but dude, it was at least 9:00, probably 10.
I think it was just our only opportunity that day. We were both busy but
we said we wanted to start on this day.
So we went that night.
Yeah.
And winged it big time.
Yeah.
And
you got it up.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you got it up.
We got it posted, and It's rough. Go back and watch it, man. It's rough. But I think that the story, maybe we'll redo that episode one day. It was kind of a little bit of background of we could do Sean now that he's here. It was kind of a little bit of our individual backgrounds from childhood up, and then it was about early OTG, how it went from an idea, his thought became a thing. And, it's been a while since I've listened to it, but basically we're just talking about, our history individually and then as friends and then OTG. It was kind of like an introduction. We should redo that now.
That could have been episode 50, but we didn't think of that.
Well, progression of the pods is I'm liking where this is going. And it kind of went into Sean's growth, and Sean's hopefully going to grow, 100-fold at wisdom.
Thank you.
And I then OTG as well. But man, it's just been quite a ride. Just thinking about that, back to that night. Was it cold? I want to say it was cold.
I don't remember. I'm going to look up the date. Let's look at the date that it was published.
I know Sean, that it was.
You check on YouTube and see. Just scroll back.
I know that it was heavy COVID because the office building had like an infrared camera. They would like scan us with on the way.
Oh, I remember that.
To make sure, like you stood in this little square tape and this thing scanned you and it shot.
You might be able just to go
TV.
I'm on there. I'm just
I was thinking about kind of looking on.
Oh yeah, we were supposed to get with Greg Abbott and tell him about this bad service we're having here.
One thing that
I'm on Apple Podcasts.
The beginning of OTG sounds like a lot. It sounds a lot like the beginning of me just doing video in general, and the beginning of my video journey was YouTube with Justin. And man, it always starts off rough, man. It's like we had a GoPro stage at one point. That video like is hilariously bad. Like it was like the music was mixed terribly, and we would the funny thing is we both worked at the pawn shop. We had been working there for a while, and Justin was the manager, and I was just an employee there. I took pictures here and there. It wasn't anything too serious. It was very much more like a side thing than it is now. And I remember waiting for him to open the door, and he's like, "Man, I want to do these like motivational videos. I want to do these motivational videos on Facebook every Wednesday. I'm gonna just call it Wake Your Ass Up Wednesday or something." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool." So it's like I'm just sitting there chilling up before the enemy. And so I'm like, "Okay, cool." And so I'm waiting for him to open the door, and he's just like talking into the phone every Wednesday for like I think it was like 2 or 3 weeks. And so eventually I'm like, "Hey, dude, I have a camera." I said, well, at first I said, let me hold the camera for you. That'll probably make it easier. Okay, cool. So he's holding the camera, and that episode actually did really well, and people were liking it. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And I was like, well, I have my camera. It's more set up for photos, but it films video, I think, or something. So it's like, yeah, it shouldn't be too hard, right? I bring my camera, and we film an episode with the camera, and people were like, dude, like, whoa. He'd been using his phone for like 3 or 4 episodes, and it was a lot of family friends, on Facebook really liking the messages he was putting out, talking about sobriety and other things like that. And people really, really liked it. And so once I added my camera to the mix, they're like, oh man, they just seen that the quality like jump up, but it was still shaky. It was filmed correctly, and it just still had a lot of those technical issues, but it looked really good. And so after that, we started kind of getting a little bit more serious about it. I got like better equipment on the back end. We started scripting episodes, and it started growing and progressing. And eventually, like, we would get to work at least like an hour or 2 early to film a Just Inspires episode. I would film it, edit it, and I would do these simple edits real fast, get it ready, and I'd have it processing the edit within like the gun room of the pawn shop as we open up. So we're opening up, and then we have the computer just in there. One time someone's like, what's that in there for? And I'm like, oh, nothing. I'm just like downloading something.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, because they were a little weird about like having other things going on at that job sometimes. And so we just kind of kept it on the low. We didn't really know what it was yet. So it's like, we're trying to figure it out. And eventually like the videos just got really, really good. And people like we would miss, and someone's like, dude, where's the episode? What's going on? Like we have a customer walk in. He's like,
for a reason.
What's happening? Like, where's the episode at? Like,
I need to see some.
Where's Wake Your Ass Up Wednesday? I'm ready to be motivated. And dude, it was crazy. Like just the thought of that. I look back at those videos every now and then, talk about emotion. It's like that, seeing that growth was pretty pretty crazy. And like to say that I had a hand in that was
I had no idea. I didn't even know that story existed. I really like. I'm gonna go watch those videos.
Oh, dude, they're great. There's some really, really good ones. It's like all like the quality of the video jumped up, but the message was always good messages.
Yeah.
Like he would always deliver something just off the dome.
Yeah,
and
I like that guy a lot.
So I was really, really happy about those videos. I like those.
I'm glad we had him on the podcast. Justin's, just the one time that I've met him and we talked to him on the podcast, I can just tell that that guy is first of all, he's a good dude. But his brain is just, I think it's an incredible creativity. You know what I mean? Like, he can, it's endless amount of creativity going on inside of his head. And, I think he can pivot very well. He can be serious and he can be, straight down the middle with you and talk about, something like, having a drug habit. And then, he can do a dance in his coffee truck and post it on Instagram. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just so I like him a lot, but that's a super cool story. And, I know you said it at the pawn shop, they were kind of weird about other stuff going on, but here at OTG, we like recording everything that's going on all the time. So just record it all.
Yeah, definitely. No, being at OTG has been pretty good. It's cool having a job that I feel embraces that. It's like, hey, I want you to grow. I want you to be better. I want you to be better because then that helps us too. So it's like it's cool. It's like a collaboration almost.
For sure, y'all's two companies are a collab because the bigger each one of you is, OTG and Wisdom, the bigger that the other one gets and the better that the other one gets, it's only going to bleed into each other, right? If you became this massive Alpha Land brand and Wisdom is your digital creator, he's going to grow from it, and vice versa. If he was insert XYZ large media company, right, or digital creation company, whatever one you want to pick, and he was working on your stuff, you would grow too based off of his growth. So
Cartoon Network. I don't want to be Cartoon Network.
Yeah, Cartoon Network.
Analogy. Yeah, that's just it's a cool company I grew up with. So it's like,
I watched Cartoon Network. There you go. Black and white tiles,
Dexter's
was that Ed and Eddie?
Ed Nettie.
Yeah, he liked butter toast with gravy on it, Jawbreakers.
I think
of toast with gravy.
I think of Ed Nettie quite often because
that's a great show.
Fundamental exercise.
Was one of them jacked?
No.
Oh.
But what's a fundamental exercise that everybody has to do when they get started working out?
A fundamental exercise that run.
Planking. They got to do plank.
Plankton.
Plank.
No, Plankton.
My best friend Plank.
Plankton was SpongeBob.
Remember
Plank was the piece of board.
Johnny's friend. Yeah, Johnny 2x4. Johnny 2x4.
I thought it was Jimmy.
Jimmy was the dude with the braces. And he always hung out with Sarah, Ed's sister. And Ed was...
Man, I couldn't even tell you the Ed and Eddie. I can't tell them apart anymore. I can see their faces, but I don't know who was who. I could see him.
I thought Jimmy was the one with Plank.
No, that's Johnny. That's Johnny 2x4 and Jimmy.
Well, either way, I could still see Plank with the offset oval eyes. Yeah. One was red, one was green.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heck
so
yeah.
I think about that quite often. When it's a client that is like around my age, like around our age, I'll be like, hey, remember an Ed and Eddie Plank? You know what I mean?
Yeah, planking from now on. Remember when planking was a thing? People would plank on top of stuff?
On things.
On things?
Yeah,
I did that for a while.
What was the craziest plank?
I planked on stuff. Man, I did some pretty crazy ones, I think, if I remember right.
Yeah. Nice.
I think I planked.
You're an extreme planker.
I planked on top of... Man, I can't even remember. There was some cool stuff that I planked on top.
You're like on top of like a scaffold at the plant.
I remember I mean, I'm not exactly like a, what's the word I'm looking for?
Planker?
No, I don't know.
There's a lot of things that you're not, Phil. Yeah, but there's a lot of things
I can't think of it right now.
What, cartoon?
Like, I'm not a extremist, like an extreme sports
gotcha.
Type of person. You know what I mean? But it was like on top of a Sonic sign.
Me?
No, I did.
Oh, yeah. At Sonic in Tech City.
Sonic in Tech City. Yeah. On top of the sign.
Yeah. I know I did the Amoco sign one time, the Amoco Federal Credit Union sign one time.
Okay.
But I thought there was a crazier one that I did, and I can't remember anymore. Man. But that was a funny time. What a weird time.
It was a weird time.
Good old planking, man. Good old.
How we've progressed since planking.
We've progressed quite a bit. And we've been progressing for almost 2 years here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. The podcast has come far, man.
February 21.
February 10th, 2021,
Yeah,
we dropped the first episode.
Well, it's cool to be 2 years. I'm a little bit upset that we're only 50 episodes in 2 years, you know.
We're going to have to up our game.
So we got to up our game.
Yeah.
Maybe next show, next show we'll do the reintroduction. Sean can do his. I know we've already did an episode about Sean.
Yeah. No, we'll just redo what is only the greatest.
Yeah, what is only the greatest? We'll redo it and then we'll compare the episodes.
Yeah, but we should wait until we get the final setup, like how.
Oh yeah, we got to have the sign.
Yeah, well, I mean, we got plenty of other topics.
We need to get our barista in here and.
Yeah, you know, we could do a progression of the tables.
Yeah.
Reviews.
The backyard barbecue 2000. I still have that.
We could do a progression.
I actually cut it with my skill saw the other day when I was building a gate, but it's still good.
It's still good. I'm
yeah.
sure.
Oh yeah. You can still eat barbecue off that thing.
Yeah. We could do a progression of the cameras.
Oh
yeah. Microphones.
Yeah. That's an expensive progression.
The lights.
The lights.
Oh gosh, man.
Yeah.
We've done all kinds of progressing. Point is, if you want something, go after it.
Yeah.
Get the OJT, put the time in. And I'm not saying go spend a bunch of money or quit your job and go do it right now immediately, but you're going to have to try. You're going to put some work in.
I think that's a super good point. You don't have to have the most money, the most production, the most the baddest camera, baddest lens.
No, for sure.
You can just start with your phone, man. Especially now.
That's where you started, right, Sean?
Oh, yeah. Taking pictures with my phone, and then now we're here type. So that's kind of cool.
From the bottom, now we're here. Speaking of, I'm 11 pounds down in 11 days, boys. Whoa. That's progress right there.
Ooh, looking slim.
That's progress right there.
Slim.
I want to be 190. So I'm about to go on turnaround here in a couple of weeks. My last day is scheduled to be, I want to say March 16th or March 17th, one of those 2 days. I want to be 190 by then.
So where you at right now?
208. So I got 18 to go. And I haven't been 190 since the wedding. Actually, I was 184 on the wedding day, and I haven't been less than 190. By the time I got back from honeymoon, I was well over 190. So I haven't been under 190 since. So I want to get to 190. And we're gonna do I'm gonna do some fitness things this year. We're gonna talk about on the podcast, and we're gonna do some gym content, and we're gonna continue working on this thing. We're gonna get in here on Wednesday nights at 6:45 if that's what it takes.
Sounds good.
And it's not just a New Year's resolution that's gonna fizzle out by March. We're gonna stick to it.
Discipline.
Yeah.
And who else we need to call? Larry. Larry's my guy. He works on air conditioners. and we'll get him in here, and he will shout out COVID JC.
I low-key thought you were talking about Larry Wheels or something.
No.
Larry Wheels?
No, Larry Kovic. He does ACs, and he can get this thing cranking. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
His name's COVID? His last name's COVID?
Kovic.
Okay.
Kovich. Look him up. He's badass, man. Tell him I sent you. Tell him Daryl sent you.
I think if I was Larry, I would have changed my name to Larry COVID during the time.
Yeah.
Just because.
COVID. Yeah. One of Jessica's co-workers' last name's Corona. And when all that was going on, he was like, yeah, it's kind of a weird last name to have right now. You know?
What if her name was Karen Corona?
Oh, God.
Man.
I think it was a guy. But anyway, Corona. But then, so when it's not COVID, then Corona's kind of cool because, there's beer. People drink the Corona beer. Maybe they think, you're one of the owners or stakeholders or something.
You could tell them that you are.
Yeah.
There you go.
I would. Maybe his name's Greg.
Maybe. Go, I know another guy named Greg, and we call him up.
Longfellow, is that dude's his first name? Maybe.
He's like, maybe it's Greg.
Yeah, maybe it is.
Before we end this, I do have a funny story about setting this whole thing up. So
let me give a little backstory. Sean's been here for a couple hours setting all this up with no AC, and I walk in and go, man, it's a little warm in here. And I look over, and he's like, you're telling me? And he wipes the sweat off of his brow. So go ahead, Sean. I haven't even heard this yet.
Yeah, I was setting it up, and I was in the groove. I was really moving, and everything was going well. And I was like, man, it's really starting to come together. They're not here yet, and I was like, this is gonna be great. They're gonna walk in and be super surprised. And I laid down the soundproofing a little bit. It sounded better, and I was like,
it sounds a lot better.
This sounds awesome. But I was like, man, I'm sweating like crazy. I'm really hot. I had pants on. I switched into my gym shorts just because it got that crazy. And I was like, man, you know what? Let me run outside and let me get my water. I'll run outside, and the door locks behind me, and I'm like, all right, cool. And I'm like, phone's up here jamming out, and I'm like, dude, no way. And I'm sitting outside and I'm thinking, okay, what can I do? What can I do? What can I do? Luckily, shout out to Steve Jobs and technology. I had my iPad in my car and it was linked to my iMessage. So I was able to scroll back, got back in, and I was
got the code. Compound has a code.
That's what I was like, bro. Yeah, man. So it was pretty funny. I was like, man, this is goofy. And I got back in and I finished it up.
See there, Sean just stuck with it.
Yeah.
He sat down, he stepped back, he detached himself from the situation, he figured out a solution.
Oh, when it comes to video production, that's the biggest thing that I had to learn. Like, rule number one is problem solving. Yeah. Always. You got to be ready for if something's going to be weird or something's going to happen. A light goes off, a mic dies on you midway through. It's like, how can I
Oh, we've been there before.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Microphone's dying, camera's dying.
Phil and I in the beginning, dude, it was like a constant struggle. It would take us an hour. There was times we met up to record, spent an hour and a half trying to get it set up to record and didn't record because something was wrong or whatever.
One time, you remember the microphone wire?
I do.
We still don't know what happened to that thing.
Yeah.
It's like
it was cut or something.
Diesel chewed on it or something, I guess.
What didn't have any chew marks? It was kind of like a clean.
It was like a clean.
He's like, hey, man, get Diesel out of this, man.
But hey, you know what? Today is Diesel's 10th birthday.
Happy birthday, Diesel.
My dog, Diesel.
You got to scoop him up like a milk bone on the way back or something.
He's literally my son. It's his birthday.
Hey, what did he get?
He's 10. I gave him a puppy treat.
Okay.
Nice.
Jessica's like, I got him a cookie. And I was like, oh, cool. And then I came home and I'm like, where'd you get a cookie from? And she's like, the store. And I'm like, liar. And she was like, yeah, I didn't get him anything. I was like, damn.
Jeez.
Yeah. So Diesel didn't get a cookie. But we'll get him something special on the way home.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe, don't tell him. Y'all don't tell him.
Yeah, keep it on the low.
You keep it on the low. I'll know if he's not surprised when I show up. I'm gonna know when y'all told him. Yeah.
Zipped.
All right, guys. It's Wednesday night. It's 7:30 p.m. What else we got?
Man, I think that's it. What do you got? Anything, Phil?
Nah, just I just want to, actually progress this thing and turn it into something real. It is something real now, but just want to keep pushing it forward.
Well. You're going to see some tweaking with camera angles. I mean, kind of got the basic setup we want a little bit.
Yeah.
We're going to see some tweaking. We're going to see some backdrop differences. We're going to get in here. We're going to be cranking out some more episodes, have some more fun topics. And I think as we create other content too, that'll give us other things to bring onto the podcast and discuss, whether it's a workout or a fitness challenge or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I've been doing some drone shots of the gym. Had someone they really like that. I was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Sean, I gotta give it to you, man. If you're not watching like all the new OTG content and all of Sean's stuff on his page, you gotta follow him and check it out because this guy's the truth. You got a talent, Sean.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
You really do. At Sean Wisdom.
Yes, sir.
And he spells it correctly.
Yes, sir. Yes,
he doesn't spell it Scene. If your name is Sean spelled SEAN, your name is Scene. Okay, that's the rules. All right, guys, that's it for the show today.
To 50 more.
Oh, easy.
Yeah.
Tomorrow we're gonna do 50 more.
All right.
I'm just kidding. All right, Sean. Sean said not too loud, so we're gonna go back.
Yeah, that sounds fun. Yeah.
I feel like a DJ when I'm like moving them around a little bit.
Heck yeah, man. That's a good episode.
It's still a good episode. We're going to start talking about what we're going to talk about next time, so I got to turn this off. Later.